Good evening, viewers, and welcome back to Media Scan, your favorite weekend dose of headlines, controversies, and perspectives. From politics to health, this was a hot news week in Delhi's cold and rainy weather. So, let's check out what made news. With approvals to both AstraZeneca and Bharat Biotech, the world's biggest vaccine rollout is here. Dry runs are done. Preparations for storage and transportation are in the final stages. And next week, we'll finally see frontline workers, health workers getting inoculated. But all this did not prevent politics being played on the issue with a section of the opposition. More on this in our next segment. Hopes of a resolution on the farmers' protest brightened after media reported back channels being opened with the protesting farmers. The government submitted in the Supreme Court that dialogue was progressing well. The apex court agreed to give the dialogue process more time before passing any order on the vexed issue. A nationwide bird flu alert has been sounded after many states reported deaths of thousands of birds. Among the states are Haryana, Madhya Pradesh, Kerala, Himachal Pradesh and Rajasthan. The Union Ministry for Animal Husbandry and Fisheries has said that migratory birds could have caused the spread of the flu. Former President Pranab Mukherjee's book, The Presidential Years, has become the toast of the media this week. His candid comments on the Congress leadership since 2014, the decisive mandate for Narendra Modi, and analysis of crucial policy matters have all been causing a flutter. There are enough indications that a lot more media space may be devoted to the book. We will also discuss some of the aspects in just a few moments. After news of the GST high point at 11.6% in December, there is more cheer on the economic front. Hiring activity is reported to be up by 14% in December 2020 as compared to November 20. There is renewed focus on infra building, with FM Nirmala Sitharaman bringing 465 more projects in the national infrastructure pipeline. And all this despite the delays due to COVID. No wonder the World Trade Organization has lauded India's efforts for liberalizing FDI and other trade facilitation measures. So, after that quick look at the headlines, it's time for some interesting discussion. To get a better understanding of a couple of those issues, I have here with me two very senior and seasoned editors. Let me introduce my guests to you for this evening. I have with me Jayanta Ghoshal, a very senior and seasoned political journalist, editor, and a common face on television channels, media columns. Welcome, Jayanta Ghoshal. I also have with me Shekhar Iyer, a well-known personality in the media circles, editor and well-known political writer. Welcome, Shekhar Iyer.
Thank you.
Vaccine politics. Now that sounds bizarre, but that is exactly what we saw this past whole week. While our scientists have shown their mettle to the whole world, we had Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav calling it a BJP vaccine and saying he would not trust it. Senior Congress leaders also criticized and questioned the approvals to Bharat Biotech. The media, on the other hand, also fielded experts who said they were not sure of the efficacy of the vaccines. Bharat Biotech has strongly refuted these allegations, and later in the week, both Serum Institute and Bharat Biotech came out with a joint statement reassuring people that they will be working together. So, how do our experts view this entire scenario? We will ask them about it. But before that, let's listen in to what the Prime Minister had to say on the India-made vaccines.
भारत ने कोरोना की 2 मेड इन इंडिया वैक्सीन भी स्वीकृत की है। भारत की अपनी वैक्सीन ने देशवासियों में नया आत्मविश्वास पैदा किया है। 2021 की शुरुआत के माहौल में आरंभ से ही भारत की ये तेजी आत्मनिर्भरता के लिए गति, ये सारी बातें देख करके, सुन करके कौन हिंदुस्तानी होगा, कौन मां भारती का लाल होगा, कौन मां भारत को प्रेम करने वाला व्यक्ति होगा जिसका माथा गर्व से ऊंचा न हो.
So you just heard the Prime Minister there expressing pride and reassurance to the country about the making of these two vaccines in record time. I first want to come to Shekhar Iyer on this. Shekhar Iyer, as a senior journalist, analyst, but also as a citizen of India, what was your first reaction when you heard some politicians questioning the vaccine and saying they would not be going for inoculation?
Well, I thought it was the most irresponsible statement for anybody to make, because if a leader like, Akhilesh Yadav, Samajwadi Party leader, calls a particular vaccine is a BJP vaccine and he will have nothing to do with it, this is somehow to create some doubt and cast aspersion on the very vaccine, this immunization program. I mean, this is uncalled for. Well, the issue like vaccine has several, rather three aspects to it. One is the safety of the vaccine.
Yes.
Other is what is considered to be the immunodeficiency or the immunodeficiency. And the third is the efficacy.
Right.
So these are the three aspects, and there have been a lot of debate about these three aspects. But to call it, it belongs to a particular party, as if, there is some fear among some opposition leaders that if the vaccine were to come out, if the vaccine were to roll out, somehow the credit would go to the government and thereby to the Prime Minister. I think that was a needless controversy, and we saw most of the newspaper editorials also did not appreciate that.
Are you saying, Mr.
They did not
Iyer,
appreciate this.
Are you saying, Mr. Iyer, that the comments from a section of the opposition is more out of political insecurity rather than health concern?
Well, what does, if you start describing it as, a particular party's vaccine,
Yes.
that means it shows that, it is not a very, I would call a rational or a logical kind of a statement. You see, there can be a genuine, attempt to understand whether the vaccine has undergone the safety precautions, whether it has undergone the trials, what is the data available. Now, these are some very genuine questions that can definitely be, debated. But to suddenly conclude, because the government is moving ahead with the rollout, so let us put some spokes by way of some statements.
Yes.
That is a very unfortunate part, because politics can always wait on such matters.
Right.
And we must all appreciate the fact, India has had one of the best immunization programs.
Correct.
And
so
we
I will
also
bring in
know the
Jayanta
success
Ghoshal
of
here.
these programs have lot to do with public cooperation.
Mr. Iyer, I'd like to bring in Jayanta Ghoshal here into the discussion, and then we'll come back to this politics of the whole scenario. But Jayanta Ghoshal, while it is very unfortunate, but it is not exactly surprising that politicians should try to play politics out of every situation. However, we did hear in television discussions, and I have read it in newspaper columns at some places, that even experts, medical practitioners and people who are involved in the science of, virology have also not expressed reassurance over the virus. At least I heard a couple of such experts. How do you look at their assessment?
Smita, actually there are two aspects. The number one aspect is the scientific research, the falsifiability, and every technical aspect.
Right.
But actually, what Shekhar has said, I completely agree, that politics can wait. There can be some questions on the scientific discovery and the experiments, and it's a trial and error. But the Prime Minister of India, he's a Prime Minister of our country. He's not the Prime Minister of only BJP, and he has not shown any parochial political role in this process of, the exploration and the scientific exercise on these vaccines. And he took interest, personal interest, and he's trying to, because it's a corona time, it's a very critical time. And he is trying to handle the situation economic scenario, we know everybody that Corona, how it has complicated the scenario. In spite of that, when Akhilesh Yadav says like this, he's a quite educated person. He represents a new generation also, not his father's generation. In spite of this sort of utterance, it's an unfortunate, uncalled for. And this is actually, you know, I was reading some articles that after Akhilesh, there are some fundamentalist leaders, they are spreading in Uttar Pradesh that there is a religiosity, issue of religiosity in the vaccination.
Yes, correct. That
We
is
will
right.
Not take this is a very dangerous trend of politics of polarization. And what Smita, you just said, the sense of insecurity. So the sense of insecurity of the opposition leaders, when you cannot combat the authority of Delhi, and he is doing the needful for the countrymen, and you are challenging this should be away from political, the myopism. I think
Exactly.
this is
Exactly. I get your point. And these are unusual situations. So if there is a hurry to complete that does not exactly mean that the hurry means inefficiency, you know. However, I'll come to Shekhar Iyer on one very small aspect of this whole situation. Shekhar Iyer, Jayanta Ghoshal just mentioned one point which we cannot forget here in this situation. That is, even a fundamentalist and some people who call themselves religious leaders, they are also, contributing to scaremongering. So in that context, there was one angle which I also heard our health minister, Dr. Harshvardhan, point out. When politicians are acting irresponsibility, when religious leaders are raising completely unrelated, bringing in unrelated issues into the picture, the media can actually play a very, influential role in removing these fears and preventing the scaremongering. On that scale, do you think the media has really played a constructive role in this entire picture, or has the media been lacking in some way?
No, well, media particularly, actually, I would say showed the thumbs down for the statements like BJP vaccine, by
Yes.
Akhilesh Yadav. But definitely, you see, in a country like ours, about vaccine, it will create a debate about the efficacy, about the safety. This is bound to happen because there will be a lot of questions. And what is also has happened is, since it has happened so quickly, and so therefore, some scientists who are not involved in the actual clearance of the vaccine are starting to raise some questions. Well, they may have some, genuine issues to be discussed, but since what we know is, in the case of one, that the Covishield has undergone the three-stage trials, and in the case of the other one, the Covaxin, which has undergone 2 trials, and the third is undergoing, and the clearance that came was that while the first one, which has been done with Oxford University and the Serum Institute, that has been given a go-ahead, and the second one is a backup. This has been clarified both by the Health Ministry officials, the Minister himself, and so many others. So some questions like this will come, and this debate will continue, because in terms of in the realm of the scientists, these are issues they would like to know, they would like to read the data, they would like to analyze the data. That is one thing. But the other thing is, particularly, there has been a problem with polio vaccine. Some religious leaders were not in favor of them, had to be convinced that this is very important, that the entire population is protected from polio.
Let me take a comment from Jayanta Ghoshal here, because I have to move on to the next subject on our table this evening. Jayanta Ghoshal, I have a small query. Of course, Bharat Biotech clarified that by the time we are ready to administer the vaccine, the 3rd stage trial would also be almost concluded. However, what I want to know is, since we are all set to roll out the world's biggest vaccination drive in our country, very quickly, I would like to know from you in a quick comment, what would be the best role for the media to play under the circumstances, so we can, go ahead with the rollout of the vaccine without any fears or reservations?
You know, as a media person and my 35 years of experience, I am sorry to say that sometimes we are provoked by the immediate headlines.
Yes.
I see Doordarshan, that's why I follow Doordarshan, because Doordarshan is less hyperbole. You know, in this time, we should not go for the headlines. You know, this is a scientific process, and there is a strong transparency in the process of the scientific activities. It's not a secret, covert
Covert
activities like the
operation,
intelligence
yes.
activities. So this is the scientists they are doing. The whole world is recognizing our this is our pride. So this is not a BJP or Samajwadi Party or any political party. So we should not involve politics in this. Rather, if we cooperate with the government, and if that federalism, sense of federalism, center, state, even all party initiatives, that can help the population, the people of this country. You have a lot of issues.
Perfect. Perfect. I get your point, Jayanta Ghoshal. So very clearly, we can understand that just like politicians have to rise above petty party politics on some issues, the media also, when it comes to issues of national health and security, has to rise above that, the kick, you know, of headline management and look beyond the larger, at the larger picture. With that positive and constructive comment from Jayanta Ghoshal, I must move on to the next topic of discussion this evening. Viewers, former President of India, the late Pranab Mukherjee, is no longer with us, but his much-awaited book, The Presidential Years, which was released earlier this week, has caused a flutter in the political circles. The book, which chronicles his experiences in Rashtrapati Bhavan, is like a minefield of stories for our media friends. At the same time, it gives great insight into the nation's political developments during those years. Let us discuss a few of the aspects which have come out from this voluminous creation, and for that I want to come to Jayanta Ghoshal again. Jayanta Ghoshal, you have not only covered Pranab Mukherjee as a senior journalist and editor, but you were also one of his close friends, and you have seen him from very close quarters. You understood his mind. From all that you know about him, please tell us, what do you think the most interesting aspects of the book, vis-a-vis his comments on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's victory, his uncharitable but very candid and honest comments on the Congress' present leadership, and the overall political scenario in the country? Jayanta Ghoshal.
Smita, this is a very interesting volume.
Yes.
This is the last volume, and 197 pages. And recently I just finished the book, and I am telling you, Smita, it's a full of anecdotes and philosophy simultaneously.
Okay.
A very interesting book. You know, actually you cannot picturize Pranab Mukherjee as a anti-Sonia, anti-Congress, anti-pro-Modi, anti-Manmohan. These are the oversimplification, because he analyzed each and every step. You know, he gave a small anecdote and information that as president, he was so happy with Prime Minister because Prime Minister started a new culture. Whenever president, he used to go to any foreign country, Prime Minister used to send a letter to him. And
Yes,
in that letter,
yes, we read about
Prime
that.
Minister gave the core points of the bilateral issues of that country. And after getting that letter, Pranab used to start the homework on that country. And he also knows the background because he was a president, was a foreign minister, all the ministries he enjoyed except Prime Minister and Home Ministry.
Yes.
So he also knew the grammar of the governance and the international relations and all these things. But this culture, what Prime Minister started, this is a very unique thing. Even on the first day when Prime Minister didn't take the oath, they went together. Rajnath ji was there, Sushma ji was there, Arun Jaitley ji was there, and he narrated the whole thing. And Prime Minister said that I want some time, after the meeting, and President and Mr. Modi, they discussed about the invitation on the sort leaders on the oath-taking
Yes,
ceremony,
correct.
whether it will be good or bad. So this is a very interesting Prime Minister-President relationship.
Shekhar Iyer, I want to come to you here on the presidential years. It's common knowledge and everybody feels that whenever somebody starts to write a book, particularly that which concerns sensitive national issues, one has to somewhere, put oneself in an objective position and write like an observer. From that point of view, how do you assess this book, and do you think it gives any life lessons to the political class of the country, and if yes, what?
Well, the President Mukherjee was a man with vast experience, as Jayanti just mentioned.
Yes.
And also a man who firmly was, well established in Indian constitutionalism, constitutional practices, the statecraft, administration. So, he had a vast experience. It's a voice of experience that you see in all the volumes he has written. And this particular volume is about the very era that has just ended when he demitted office. So
Yes.
whatever he says in this, has a lot of meaning in the sense he is a person who always calls spade a spade. He doesn't mince words. And he has written this book, with the view that he doesn't want to, show favor or show any kind of malice. Rather to state things as he perceived when he was in Rashtrapati Bhavan. And that's very important.
On that point, allow me to interrupt you here, Shekhar Iyer. On that point, I read some uncharitable comments here and there and some discussion on television saying that Pranab Mukherjee's comments on the Congress leadership and the Congress first family could have been born out of the feeling that he never became Prime Minister. Do you think that questioning is justified?
That would not be fair at all. To say that Pranab Mukherjee wrote whatever he wrote about the Congress leadership, the problems of the Congress, simply because, he had a feeling that he was not given a chance to be the Prime Minister. That would be very, very, I would say, uncharitable, because that is a different chapter, a chapter which he himself reconciled. And the fact that when he was nominated as the Congress candidate for the president's post,
Yes.
he himself said, look, this party has given me a lot, and he was very delighted that the party chose him. So that is a fact. But it is also a fact that he was the most experienced person, and when Sonia Gandhi declined to become Prime Minister, she chose Manmohan Singh. Manmohan Singh, who has worked under Pranab Mukherjee. When Pranab Mukherjee was Finance Minister, he has been Reserve Bank of India Governor. And, when Manmohan Singh ji became Prime Minister and Pranab Mukherjee was in his cabinet, several times Manmohan Singh ji used to show deep respect to Pranab Babu. And even used to address him, sir. It is Pranab Babu who corrected Dr. Manmohan Singh, saying, look,
Right.
please don't call
Yes.
me sir, you are the Prime Minister. So,
Yes.
so therefore to conclude, whatever the Pranab Babu has written in that book is born out of some kind of disappointment, that would not be correct. Because that would mean we are not willing to look at the larger canvas that the book has sought to show to us.
Yes, point taken. Jayanta Ghoshal, two very quick remarks because you knew Pranab Mukherjee well, but you've also been observing the country's political developments very keenly. Number one, of course, Pranab Mukherjee's comment on the Congress leadership, but my question here is not about what he wrote. My question is, can his comments coming at this point in time help the Congress party pick up, pull up its socks and get back to being the party that it was? Number one. And number two, do you think Pranab Mukherjee's book can serve as a good sort of curriculum to students of politics like me and you?
The first question, what you raised, is a
Yes.
very relevant question. And I should be very frank that there is a sibling differences in the Mukherjee family also, that we have come to know that also through on-record tweets and all these things.
Yes,
that
even in the
some,
context of the
Abhijit,
book, it was very open.
yeah, this is nothing secret issue, because Avijit didn't want it. Avijit is a congressman, and Avijit he thought
Correct.
that these issues can be a politically, BJP can misuse these, that. These are the Avijit's line of thinking. But
Okay.
Sharmishta, she actually was keen to publish this book, and she said that whatever Pranab Mukherjee thought, he wrote, and he was keen to publish it. How could we stop it? So
Yes.
there is a differences. But anyway, now the book has come in the daylight, and we have read whatever he has written. But I agree with Shekhar that Pranab Mukherjee, personally, I think that he wanted to be the Prime Minister, and he expected that Mrs. Gandhi will make him Prime Minister. In those days, I was a daily visitor in the 13th Talkotra Road.
Right,
And
right.
I'm the witness. Even he was told that he will be the Home Minister. Just after one day, he said that no, now Mr. Singh, Dr. Singh requested him to be the Defense Minister. So there was a lot of internal differences, layers. Be that
Power
as
play.
it may, Pranab Mukherjee, what Shekhar said, that reconciled.
Yes.
What you also just mentioned, that lot of things he got from the Congress party. So he thought, Kabhi Kushi, Kabhi Gum. So there are a lot of happiness also this party has given me, lot of responsibilities. So we have to accept. In this book, he has mentioned that a lot of people told me that if you were the Prime Minister, the result could be different. But he said that I don't agree with that. He said it, that because it's a policy, and
So
that
where does that leave the Congress current leadership vis-a-vis the assessment shown in the book, sir?
Yeah, because the Congress leadership is a completely, I think it is in a soup. It is in a fix. And Pranab Mukherjee, in his fine language, in a parliamentary way, he discussed all the issues of crisis. As a student of politics, we should read it. Like the change of Maharashtra CM.
Yes.
He said that Sushil Shinde or Shivraj Patil, Sonia Gandhi should brought them. Because after the change of chief minister, this change was completely very costly for Congress. So there are a lot of issues. He said that I'm president, I should not advise. So he didn't advise. But that time, 2012 to 2017, his thoughtfulness on Congress, he described in this book. So the student of politics, we should read it.
Counter comment here, Jayanta Ghoshal. Very quick 30-second counter comment from Shekhar Iyer. At a time when Pranab Mukherjee's book has come, this just made me think of a possibility. Do you think the Indian political scenario or the publishing industry has enough honest and candid volumes published by senior leaders as much as we should have? What is your take?
Well, it will make interesting reading if all the leaders were to disclose, those events and the circumstances behind the events.
Yes.
They will definitely make a very interesting reading. But then we know some leaders they see that it is their responsibility that other than what is actually in public interest, these must not be brought in the public domain.
Right.
So we will have to leave it to their individual discretion as to decide what is good. But there are a lot of things that we know, a lot of things we do not know.
Right. Point taken, sir. On that note, viewers, fortunately, despite the sibling differences in the Mukherjee family, it is good for the country that the volume has finally come out and it is there for all of us to read. Like I said earlier, the book is actually a minefield of stories for the media, and this week is not going to be the last one when we get to read a lot of things which happen behind the curtains, and not only political happenings, but also the assessment and understanding of the late Pranab Mukherjee. On that note, I am afraid I have completely overshot my time this evening. So let me thank both my guests, Shekhar Iyer, Jayanta Ghoshal. Thank you very much, both of you gentlemen, for joining this lively discussion. And we hope we can go back to a discussion on the book on one of these weekends again. So with that note, thanking my guests here, viewers, please keep watching DD India, and we here will continue to scan the media for you. Good night.